Good morning, everybody. It is 8:16 a.m. It is May 18th. Everybody's having a good morning. Yesterday we made a move higher, not a full breakout, but a move higher in the SPY, the S&P 500. Nasdaq keeps being strong. As soon as McCarthy looks like they said they can get a deal done raising the debt ceiling, that might have been a little bit of the catalyst. Sorry, I've had a little bug happen like in the middle of yesterday, so I'm not 100%, so I apologize for that. Let's get into the introduction here. My name is Steven Gonzalez. Welcome to my channel. I use volume profile, market profile, along supply and demand, gamma exposure levels. We map out scenarios for the market and look at stocks, certain plays, and that's what we do here. And of course, I appreciate it when you guys, new people, subscribe, set an alert, share with friends. That'd mean a lot. As always, give me a like would be wonderful. I'm also on Twitter, Gonzo719, and Instagram, Gonzo19 Jersey. We can get right into the watch list. Okay, so we got the dollar at 103. It's up 0.22. Nasdaq, it's up 0.19. ES up 0.11. Bitcoin's pretty much flat. VIX is flat. Russell's flat. 10-year yield doesn't report to 820. The Dow is flat. Ether's slightly down. Crude's down 0.26. 30-year bonds slightly down. That means the 10-year yield should be rising. Gold is down 0.43. Silver's down 0.7. Let's move on. Let me get rid of some of these check marks. I did have a nice long in snow yesterday. I was on a hair trigger of going long on Tesla, but I have that risk reversal options play that's working out beautifully in Tesla. And Boeing broke out yesterday too. Okay, let's look at our leaders. So we got Snow up 2.29. Baba's up 1.96, almost 2%. Now Baba reports today, I believe. Oh, the earnings point into. Okay, so they already reported this morning. Okay, we got Nvidia's up 1.2. Now it's over 300. Netflix, it looks like I saw some news on them. I'll go to that later. They're up 1.19. All right, let's go. Is there any laggards? Not really. I mean, Microsoft kind of made a little move. It's over 310. But Apple's really struggling here. It's kind of like run out of gas. So let's move on. I didn't have time this morning to look at like possible trades to mark off. So top sectors. So Walmart reported earnings. They were good. They're up 1.28%. Is the laggards? Yes. Procter and Gamble I saw got a downgrade. And Chevron is down 0.78. Excuse me. Sectors. We have semis leading the charge at 0.66, followed by communications, and there's no laggard. So that's that. You can get into some news and economic calendar. Give me one sec. So today we have jobless claims 8:30, Philly Fed at 8:30. We have Fed speak today, Fed Jefferson, Fed Barr, and at 10 a.m. we have existing home sales and a Fed Logan speech at 10 a.m. So I'd be a little careful if you want to be in a day trade at 10 a.m. Give me one sec. I'm actually going to set an alarm so I'm not in a trade. Just give me one sec, guys. I just want to make sure that I'm not in a trade. Okay. So that's our news for today. We got more Fed speak tomorrow. Let's get over to some news. So you see Walmart. Now the other thing is PacWest, Western Alliance lead rebound in U.S. regional lenders. So KRE, regional bank ETF, that is up 1.06% today. PacWest is up 6.12%. All right, that's going to help out the Russell and financials. Now, as far as what I saw for Netflix here, Netflix. So it says the streaming giant recently launched ad-supported tier reaches nearly 5 million active users per month. It says on Wednesday, Netflix made its first presentation to advertise at the annual ritual known as the Upfronts, where networks aim to lock in ad commitments for upcoming shows. Tesla, the U.S. electric car maker, has held discussions with officials about incentives being offered by India for car and battery manufacturing. So that's interesting. Target got a downgrade. And that's really probably it. I want to talk about it in the news. We can get over to the daily charts. Let's look at the daily charts. Alright, so we made a nice little move here. Let's zoom in here. Alright, that anchor VWAP from the FOMC was support yesterday. And we are over the 8 EMA daily and the 20-day simple moving average. And you can see we had a lot of short covering yesterday. If you could see the last let's see, the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles were taken out yesterday from this one candle. So pretty interesting. Now there's a gap here. You can see it in the futures that we went up to. Okay, where are we at now? 415.70. We're at the top of the range yesterday. Okay, there's the profile. We're not in the middle here. We broke out. Holding that 10-week EMA. Let's go to the Qs. Qs made a nice move. So it came right back. Look where this 327 level, that's where we found support yesterday and found buyers. So where are we at now? 331.76. So 331.76. We're actually gapping up slightly today. Let's look at those weeklies. Let's look at the profile. So no surprise there. And in the weeklies, there's that 330 resistance. Next resistance would be 346. I'm not sure if it goes up that high, but you never know. All right, moving on to the Dow. Let's zoom in here. All right, so the Dow basically took out 4 of these candles, went over the 100-day moving average, the 80-day daily, and has a 20 simple day moving average. Right now we're at 334.68. So we're holding the top of the range. There's the profile. We're almost at the middle of it of the last month. Weeklies, now look at that. We went right up to the 10-week EMA. So let's see if we can close above that this week. Moving on to the Russell. Russell made a nice move yesterday. That's been beaten down. That's a very bullish candle right there. It literally made demand right here. So it went right up to the 176 level. That's where it closed. And it's at 176.43 right now. So it's right at the top of the range. I would say if it can pull back to 176, and if we're strong today, possibly you can get a breakout, because we haven't really broke out yet. Okay, look at the profile. So this was just in the middle, and now you can see right here is the key level, 176. It's actually a gamma level too. And let's see here, coming up to that 10-week EMA, so we have to see what we can do there. All right, that wraps up the indexes. We can go to the triple-headed monster now. We can see the 10-year yields rising. So So 10-year yield has definitely been rising, right? So bond market's the smart money. So notice the market is going up and the bond yields are going up. So this would definitely be a caution for any kind of long activity, right? Because the higher the yields go, the less attractive tech stocks will be. So this is very interesting. We still got to go up to this 3.63 level to see if we can touch that. If we go over that, then that is a good chance. This is a leading indicator that will tell us we're probably done with this move. So it's really interesting here. Let's move over to the VIX. Alright, so the VIX, you got this range, right? 1636 to 1826. Obviously, with the move up, we're going to be lower. Okay? So that's our playground. Move over 1826, probably see some downside. You go below, then, we're going to possibly keep moving higher. Let's look at that dollar. The dollar has made a move. So are we going to get continuation? Right? So kind of sold off a little bit yesterday, but it's getting a little more strength today. And again, this is usually not the best for equities and the metals and commodities. So we really have to see. Usually people are short the dollar, so this is, causing a lot of shorts to cover here. All right, really have to keep an eye on that. All right, let's go over to the volume profile, market profile. Just give me one sec. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, so let's look at the profile, right? We knew the profile was this way, it was balanced. Now we're trying to establish value higher, so look at the volume up here. Okay. Um, you want to see the most traded price of the week, which is still down here, move up here. That would be bullish, and you can get some continuation. As always, value follows price. So if value cannot migrate up to price, price will come back down. So that's the question, right? And let's look at our key levels. Still, the big key level is down here. That is like, say, 41.36. Okay. 41.36 is the key level. Now let's look at what we did yesterday. So we have a low here and a high here. Okay. So we kind of have here a weak high and a poor low. So there's a poor low down here. Poor low just means that there's no excess. These two TPOs are equal. You can see it. It's not normal. Like, you see how this stick is here, this stick is here. You got one. This is a double, which usually means that it gets repaired, which usually means that's an area that if we revisit it, we're going to repair it. And then you kind of have a weakish high here because it doesn't have that excess that you normally have. You can see the same thing. See, there's excess here, excess here. They usually have excess. You don't have that excess. Okay, so that also lends itself to be further up movement, right? So this is yesterday's low, yesterday's high, right? This is the overnight high, overnight low. So right off the bat, okay, right off the bat, this is bullish because we made a big move up and we're holding the higher prices. And it's bullish because the most traded price is up at the top of the range. Okay. And we're holding this key resistance level, 41.64. Now, we're in the middle of the overnight range. That's not telling us much. You can see we came up and partially filled an old gap right here. That's the gap, and we only filled it this little bit. So I can take that now and move that up to the top of the range. So that's where the gap is now. Okay. So the question is, can we hold? That's really the question. This 41.64 level. There's demand here. Okay, so if you're talking about balance rules, right? We kind of just broke out of this balance. Now, the first thing is called a test. We're testing up out of balance. When you get continuation, that would be considered the move. Okay? However, if the market would go back into this range today, we're going to go to the other end of balance. That is just how balance rules work, because everybody who is long is going to have to cover and liquidate their positions. But if you stay above here and get continuation, obviously we move higher. Okay? So that's really what you should be looking for today as far as scenarios. Okay? So obviously we just made a move. Can we get continuation? I don't know. Right? So first thing you want to do is, as long as we hold up here, it's bullish, right? So even if we come up, hit supply, or we just come down into this demand and test even this level, If you could dip below it, and the market and the sellers don't hold, the sellers can't do anything, then we're probably going to go up to yesterday's highs, fill this gap, and we could possibly go up to this naked VPOC up here. There's a lot of supply overhead. Okay, that's what I see. Because the balance rules, if we move down into this range, you got single prints here, right here. These are all emotional buying. So you have that toothpick holding up the elephant here. This is not, look at that volume. That is not going to act as a ton of support if we come here with volume. And if we course with balance rules, if we come down here, we're going to go back to the other side of the range. All right, so let's talk about the short scenario. And that could look something like this. We could even move up into this supply zone, start to get some weakness, okay? And this is the test. This is where really the bull bear line should be for today, the 4164. Because if we come through this demand and we start holding and we really get weak, you're going to clean these single prints and we're going to go back to this key level and most likely traverse to the other side. That's the really only two scenarios I'm really going to be looking at today. Okay. Moving on. Let's go to the NASDAQ. Okay. So the NASDAQ was able to move its most traded price higher. So it's right here right now. That price is 135.33. Okay. So that's bullish. And yesterday, again, we came right down to the most traded price of the previous day. Right here. Found buyers in this demand zone. Okay. Look at the profile. We're trying to build value up here now. You see that? So that's the profile. Kind of a weird looking one. Okay. Why is this so thin? Well, we have single prints here. So again, we're above the key level. Most traded price of the month is way down there. So as long as we stay above this is bullish. It doesn't matter if we come back down as much. Just like in the ES, it doesn't matter as much. We're way out of the range in the NASDAQ. We didn't just break out of balance like the ES. Okay. So let's look at, where we're at now. So we made it a new high in the overnights. Overnight low. Yesterday's high. Yesterday's low. Okay, we have single prints. Okay, but this is bullish, right? You made a big move and we're holding the prices higher. That's bullish, right? Can we take this most traded price of the week and move this up here? If we do, that is bullish. Okay. Now this is going to run out of steam one day, but nobody knows when. Okay. So this is very key, this overnight low. Okay. Now in the NASDAQ, like I said, as long as we stay above this level, it's still bullish, even if we clean the single prints. That is a different story in the ES. Okay. So this is kind of balanced session overnight. That doesn't tell us much except that we know it's bullish because we're holding the higher prices. Okay. And we have the most traded price of yesterday. There. It's kind of the same situation as the ES. It's pretty simple. Okay, and we don't really have a lot of overhead supply at all in the Nasdaq. So it has a lot of room to the upside, but This has been pretty overbought. But again, irrational markets can stay irrational more than you can stay solvent. That's the key. Okay, so it can keep moving when you don't think it should be. All right, so we can get into this scenario because it's going to be very easy. Okay, you really could be long, just long bias and say, hey, I'm going to be long. So what is that going to look like, right? So let's look at that. So if the Nasdaq holds this overnight low and does something like, come into this demand, dips into it, and you really don't get sellers, where we're gonna probably the market's gonna move up to yesterday's highs and we're gonna go somewhere up higher. Okay. Now the difference in this scenario is the Nasdaq can come down, clean the singles, but as long as it goes to this demand zone and holds this most trader price of the week, it could still do this. Again, price. This is from Peter Rezenchek. It's only an advertising mechanism. It can fool you, but structure. That's why I love market profile, volume profile, because the structure is here. I know if we stay above this level, it's bullish. Okay, so I want to talk about this. It's not the perfect nuance, but it have to be noted. If the most traded price is here, right? And we closed here, and we know everybody is long from here. Okay, in the overnight low, everybody's long from here. All right, this becomes a weak low right here, and you have single prints underneath. So we could easily come up, come back down, test this, bounce around. But if we get some volume, some weakness come in, and we break this, you're going to get a flush, and you could clean these single prints. Now, bullish would be if you come into the single prints and you hold it, that would be the opposite, right? But however, the thin volume with the single prints, it can get cleaned, and that's when you can go down to here. And if we break that, then we could go all the way down here. So that's really the only two things I'm looking at today. Pretty simple. All right. So we got our plan. It's very simple. You got kind of two weak lows. You got balance rules in the ES. Nasdaq is stronger. Okay. Stay patient. Remember, 10 a.m. You got some news coming out. Okay. Got our plan. And as always, subscribe if you haven't already. Set an alert. That would be much appreciated. Always giving me a thumbs up. A like is awesome. Much appreciated. Of course, you guys got my Twitter and my Instagram. I've been meaning to do reels of these trades I've been putting on. And like yesterday, I got this bug and I'm still not 100%. You probably can hear it in my voice. But yeah, I'm going to try to do, and yeah, that's why I didn't do a midday update yesterday. I had this bug. So, okay. So, I'll try to do one today, but I'm still not feeling 100%. Um, so, I wouldn't count on it, but if I feel better, I will do it. As always, I wish everybody luck today. Let's stay green, let's stay patient, follow the plan, and I will hopefully, if I do an update, you guys will hear from me. If not, you hear from me tomorrow morning. All right, take it easy.